Well. A very special Thursday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. A pleasant morning to you, Richie B. and the Up and Go team. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And of course, thank you so very much for joining us, all our listeners, wherever you listen from, whether it's our frequencies or you're on the internet or just wherever. Thanks for joining us. You know, we do all of this just for you. Morning. Scene. All right, so we got it. It took a little time, but we got it. Welcome, my sister, to Untengled on the Bridge. We now see Latoya. We need to see Latoya.
To them bad mind.
You see, are they? All right. Pretty girl in the door. Wow, sure. Mm-hmm. All right, so fine. So, welcome to Untengled on the Bridge.
Thank you so much for having me, Elise.
Most welcome. And I think we're going to be, hold on a little bit. I think we're going to be having a few more live interviews like this. Our first one was Sugar. That's right. Sugar was our first one. So we're going to have a few more little. You wear many hats. You don't have on any today, but I know you wear many hats. And perhaps you've had even more ups and downs than the many hats that you wear. So we're going to be asking you to take us through your journey in a while. And we're going to ask you to take us through your earlier days, like your school days, your community that you come from. And let's start that first.
All right. Well, as you'd have rightly said, Elise, boy, the journeys are something. And that is what would have inspired me to have, decided to put everything in writing. I think writing is such a powerful thing. And so many people don't even realize the power in writing down something. Mm-hmm. For us in the professional world, people use writing to hold people to things that they've done.
That's true.
And to be used as like a punitive action against someone. But where oral tradition has died, I think it is so important for us to write, just write. And so when I was growing up as a child, I'm from Manchester, country girl. Okay. And where I came from was not what you'd call deep rural Manchester, but, closer to the town of Mandeville. So for me, I would have been exposed, but I would have been pretty much sheltered. I grew up with my grandparents. Okay. My father was a soldier with the Jamaica Defense Force. So, you leave the community and you are one out of so many that would have gotten the opportunity to, get a career. Elise, in those days when you're teacher, police, soldier, big thing.
Yes. And then so, to go leave the community
listen,
and got told?
Every time he came back, he was like a god. This man was like a mini god. And then person say, oh, the soldier man daughter. And then my dad's name is Carl. So most times I wouldn't have an identity. I would either be Mr. Fuller granddaughter or I would be Carl's daughter, because of who my grandparents were and who my father was. But for me, life was very simple. Farming community. My grandparents were very proud people. Them never have enough Elise. My grandfather was a shoemaker. And so I tell this every time when I became a teacher and I started, speaking to children about making use of their opportunities and stop going like them an idiot and make sure so them not waste them parents' money. Me say to them straight up, you people can afford Clarks and whatnot. But I remember when my grandfather, when the toe of the shoes kick off, Elise, he would have fixed it. Yeah. And him patch it. And for me, his skills then weren't like the modern day shoemakers now. So you see big stitch in the front of my boot and me have to wear it like a style. You understand? Me have to wear it like a style. Yes. So after a while, and him not believe in a painted shoes and shoes where come Elise. You see, all them look at something you have on. He would be critiquing it a long time and say, but that's not good shoes. That's not leather.
But you're not a manners.
Listen,
boot and a leather.
No, so I would say.
Oh, okay. How do I? The child look at my shoes and say, I don't think they're sweet, the Richie, we say.
And he
my boot and leather.
Your boot and leather, Elise.
Don't.
Your boot bad though. Choo something. Boot bad and nice.
Go on,
so, as a young girl, there were many issues I had buried. I was very talkative. I think, I was born with a gift of gab. Everybody has to know what their gifts are, and you have to accept what that gift is and allow that gift to become that point that propels you into the person.
So when you're this little girl,
Yes.
now you're wearing many hats. What did you actually want to do as a little girl?
I never want to do nothing, Elise.
You never wanted to.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You come from this community where you see everybody around you poor. And I university was not something that was discussed until I started attending the high school that I attended. How I speak now, a lot of people are so they're enamored. That's the word I choose to use when they hear me speak, because you come from a place where people don't really have to talk English. You don't have to really do nothing. So when I got the opportunity to go to Bishop Gibson High School as a girl, and it was an all-girls institution, for me, that was a defining point in my life. So you grow up poor, you see your grandfather every night at cabbage. At one point when I became an adult, I cook cabbage again.
Clyde.
Listen, cabbage, cauliflower, sweet potato, I stopped eating those
Because
things.
that's what he found.
That's what he could. But I love chicken back. That's the only thing you can't turn my mind from. I love chicken back. So it would be cabbage and something else. Chicken back and a cabbage. Chicken back by itself. Chocho with like a aisle. So, the other day when I saw this thing with the young man, I said to myself, people were kind of shocked and saying, boy, they never know people living in that kind of poverty. Hello. Many of us lived in that and became...
And survived.
Listen.
And thrived.
And we never have no social media either for anybody to video us and take our story to the world to say, boy, that little girl, I need help. What we understood was that what's up here is what would have taken us from where we were and where we wanted to go.
Okay, I'm going to read a quotation, one of two, and it says, "It is your reaction to adversity, not the adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop." So my question to you is, outline to us your adversity, but balance it with your accomplishments, and tell us how one motivated the other.
All right. It's a difficult question to answer, not because I don't know the answer, but because people are expecting to hear something mind-blowing. And sometimes life doesn't always come with these mind-blowing and philosophical comments about what you've been through and why you are able to survive adversity. For me, plain and simple, Elise, as a child, many days I never have no taxi fare. So I had to make up in my mind, stay home and be proud and not go to school and not be educated, or go out on the highway and wait on the Hanbury Home Children's Home bus and get a ride to go to school. There were days when I didn't have any lunch money and I had to make a decision. Are you going to go to school, drink a little water, or are you going to cook like a white rice and scramble like an egg and bring to school? It was a decision I made in my head as a child from then. I saw children who were able to buy patty and box drinks, who were able to buy cooked food. Me couldn't buy it. Many days, my little friend them, and I chose friends that were like me and friends that could help me. I was not good and still not good at maths. Me run and hide from that. And what I did was I found friends who were good at maths because I was good at English. So I would help them with English. They would help me with maths. So when you were away, I did for hungry lunchtime now, Elise, all of we just go around on one big tree around at the back of the school. If you buy one little patty, you broke a patty, a Holy Communion, so all of us just share a little patty. It's a decision for me that you make in your mind. Not to become so proud, even from you are a child, because it begins there. You have to make that decision that this current struggle is a temporary situation. And for me as a child, I never looked down on where I came from. I didn't allow anybody to do that.
All right. So you taught at one stage. You were a
Yes, I
teacher
did.
at one stage. Very briefly, because we want to spend a lot of time on the book. Take us through how you move from becoming you never ever stop being a teacher.
Being a teacher,
right?
yes,
So
that's
let
true.
us not say moved. But let us talk about you being a teacher and then being a journalist and even more excitingly, a justice of the peace.
All right. I think those are the interesting elements of my life, if I should say so. I was going through a very difficult divorce. Very, very difficult divorce at 27 years old, Elise. And it was one of the major disappointments of my life because I got married at 21. And a lot of people would say, 21, you're not even live your life yet. But for me, I was very precocious. Old people may grow with. So I was never young in my mind. I was always very mature. I always knew what I wanted. So by the time I got to 21 years old, I had become a teacher. I wanted to be in hospitality and tourism, but we couldn't afford it. So truth is, my option had to be something cheaper.
Right.
And teaching at the time was the more affordable option. So
Clear.
I opted to stay in my parish and attend Church Teachers College.
Okay.
And so when I became a teacher, I met my then spouse. And, you know, it would have morphed because I was a Christian and in church, it would have morphed naturally into wanting to get married. And so I believe too, you see, poverty, Elise, is a terrible thing, you know, because when you grow up struggling as a young person and everybody around you is struggling and you become the new pinnacle of what is supposed to be the success for your community and your family, you're sort of under a kind of pressure, you know, to put yourself in this place now where you're not just become respectable, but you show other people that this is what I can become.
And you have to be a success.
You better be one. So at 21, I started teaching, which was a big thing because I only knew older women in my community who were teachers. So I became a teacher and subsequently others from the community became after myself. And then when this marriage took place and, you know, things happened, I think we changed views, we changed ideals. What I wanted was not what he wanted. A lot of cheating did start happening, Elise, because I guess now he started finding himself and him decide, say, boy, I can't tie down myself to this one situation, so I'm going to dip my foot here, so I'm going to dip my foot over there. So. And so by 27 years old with 2 small children, I'm facing a divorce.
Oh, my goodness.
So I literally run away from Mandeville. I couldn't deal with it. I decided that too much pressure for me. Mandeville is a small area, and so everyone knows everyone. I was festival queen. That make it worse.
You were
Elise.
festival queen.
Yes, in 1999.
So people really know who you are.
I sang in a gospel group. Everybody know me. I go around to churches to do performances and whatever. Everybody knew me, Elise.
So everybody know you sometimes just means everybody know your business.
Listen, much more than you know too, because they knew about some of the bun and were pretending like them never know.
Oh,
yeah.
I hear you. But, you know, and it also tells us that bond can be found anywhere.
Exactly.
Out a road, in a church,
Same
in
way.
a school, anywhere. It's really the hearts and thoughts of man and woman.
That's right.
So don't bother think you escape bond when you're going to a church.
Oh,
Sometimes
no.
I just right there.
Listen.
Let us not move on off into there so at all because I don't want to I don't want to discriminate. So let us talk about the book because we can't not talk about the book. Interesting name. So you think you can give up now? Surviving through deep, dark, and painful adversity. You gave us a hint a while ago. Quickly, tell us exactly what was the motivation behind writing this book and calling it this.
Right. So I have to finish a part of what you had asked me, which was how did I make the transition?
Quickly.
So I was in depression, very depressed, and at the time my friends knew what was happening. So the RGR Communications Group, they were having their cross-country thing at the time, a new phenomenon. And it came to my parish and somebody said, listen, come out of your doldrums and come get some fresh air. So I went. And my colleague at the time, she was trying to avoid talking to a very popular journalist because he was there apparently hitting on her. She said, listen, you chat him out. I'm not interested. And so from that casual conversation, just like you and I are having now, he's there listening to me speak, and he said to me, his interest, relationally or whatever, just waned. Then he started listening to me speak. So he said, you have a media voice? And, I said to him, I don't know. I've heard people say that. Long and short of it is he told me to apply for a position as reporter at the RGR Communications Group. That's strange, weird to me. I don't go watch news. I don't know nothing about news. So I applied. 3 weeks later, I was called, and just so, I was ushered into media.
All right, so that takes care of media. I don't know if we're going to have time for the JP part, but we'd really like to hear the JP story.
That's the easy part, man.
All right, make we go. Make we do it.
Well, community service, media helped with that a lot because I served in Clarendon for quite a while. And because of that now, I developed a natural interest. From Festival Queen teaching, doing community-based work, I developed an interest in community life and wanting to be a part, not just an exister. I wanted to be a part of everything that was happening. And so I saw JPs, I realized that many of them were old and many of them unrelatable. And so I wanted, as a younger person, to be able to do something that is significant for myself and for my dead granny, because I made some promises to her and she died. And I wanted to just say, even to my children, no matter where you come from and what has happened to you, the sky is the limit. You put limitations on yourself. You can't allow people to put those on you.
All right. So let's talk about the book now.
Yeah.
What inspired it? Motivation?
My life, everything that has happened. I am a Christian. And one of the things I have found, Elise, is that many of us as Christians, we're untrue to ourselves and we're untrue to others. And I decided that this man that we believe in, that's called Jesus, he lived a very truthful life. And one of the things is he never ever pretended to be what he was not. There were elements and times, even when he might go to a cross, when he showed weakness and said, Father, help me because I can't manage this. And many of us as Christians or people who embrace the faith, we have to put on this show to show people that we're strong. I struggled, Elise, because there weren't people who were honest enough to share with me to say I went through these things. So I was inspired to write this book for people to understand. Listen, this woman is a JP. She was in media. She's now in corporate government. She's doing a whole bunch of stuff. What is the story behind her? You see her dress up, face have on makeup, look good, walking about, high heel shoes. Clothes can cover anything, Elise. But there are experiences behind an individual that you must be willing to share to help others to become who they ought to become.
Very, very well said. And can I say something, Latoya? If more people did that, because people hide behind clothes, people hide behind religion, people hide behind many things. And a lot of times your experience that you experienced about, not being able to say who you are, what you're really going through, is just that many people hide behind religion.
That's true.
And people just figure that if you're a follower of whoever you follow,
yes,
then you have to be a perfect human being. And I'm sure that this book will make people see life in a different light. And can I suggest, I don't read the book yet, but me just know say,
if you read it, man, you'll call me.
It's going to make people realize that they must be themselves.
Yes. And that is the essence of it, Elise. Be yourself.
Yes.
Be true to who you are. The subset of your experiences are not just for you. It's
absolutely.
for other people too. One gentleman read it, a friend's husband. I didn't even know man would read this, because when most men see women write, they say, boy, it's just a
man bashing.
Yeah, man bashing thing. And the gentleman was honest enough to call me and say to me, I am so moved by your honesty, because even in my own marriage, I'm having these experiences that you would have been speaking about so openly.
Oh, you spoke about that?
Me talk about everything, Elise.
All right. Let's talk about this now as we wrap it up.
Yes.
Where can we get a copy of the book?
Well, currently, as of next week, it will be on Amazon, because I was just trying to fine-tune some things to get it on Amazon. So as of next week, persons will be able to purchase it on Amazon. Currently, it's with me. So they can contact you guys here. My friend Vaughn knows how to find me quite easily. I have contacts. I don't know if that's allowed to be shared on air, but I have the books with me. I'm not ready yet to place them into a bookshop.
Okay.
And there are reasons, logistical reasons for that.
Okay.
Because there's a cost attached to putting these things in bookshops and sometimes pharmacies, because a part of the proceeds would have to go to them. Not that give them a lot of money, but right now you have to think about generational wealth. And when you start sell a few books and you find your foot, Elise, then you start now go to the next level. So they're with me currently. And persons, there's the launch. I'm having a launch and what I choose to call a blessing service on the weekend, Saturday.
This weekend?
Yes. April 2 at my church, Rosewell Church of God of Prophecy in Sandy Bay. And so my friend Vaughn said it's on the screen. Me look nice, don't you, Elise? The girl, they look nice, don't Yeah, nice, clean girl. So... And I'm not egotistical. Me just get to the place, Elise, when me start accepting
So it
he's a
says
nice girl.
minister. Oh, you're a minister?
So then call me.
Put it-
can
put
preaching
it-
on them something, Elise.
Minister Latoya Minott presents book launch and blessing service. You're looking very nice.
Oh,
for
thank
true.
you so
And the
much.
red suits you very nicely.
To God be the glory.
And so we what would you like to say to people who want to be a part of this service?
They can feel free. Come on down. I have my social media pages that I have posted these things on, and there are some friends who are supporting that have been sharing.
Okay.
I just use La and Toya for my name on social media. I like to be different.
All right. So we will get the information.
Yes.
Vaughn says he will give me the information, and I'm sure he will be
Right.
posting it on the Bridge website. Perfect. So for those who want to read this book, just the title alone, really attracts us to this book.
Thank
And
you.
we don't open the book yet because it sounds like something that's real life and what
Yes.
happens to real people.
It's a challenge. How dare you give up?
Yeah.
How dare you? Where exactly are you, Elise, that you think you must give up now? And
Absolutely.
allow those who are expecting you to give up to actually do it. So you think you can give up now? I dare you to.
I love that. Wonderful. Thank you so very much for coming in.
You're so
Thank you very
welcome.
much for talking to us. And we just had a wonderful conversation, and the kind of conversation I love to have with real people, no matter what the walk of life. And Latoya Minott is her name. She wears many hats, crowns.
Queen thing.
Crowns. And her book, again, So You Think You Can Give Up Now, Surviving Through Deep, Dark, and Painful Adversity. Thanks again for stepping inside of the Bridge 99 FM studio and telling us about your journey and your book. We're going to take a break. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, we're streaming live to the tri-state as we speak. So we have live also online Beauregard and the Ira Jam radio listeners and viewers. Beauregard, you were saying?
Yes, I was saying, Mama Kelly, while this unfortunate situation is happening right now in Jamaica as far as crime is concerned and a lot of the youths are involved, we also want to send a shout out to the youths who are staying away from the crime and violence and, sticking to their books and trying to make good out of life. A lot of them have become young entrepreneurs and just doing great things in life. So we want to send a big shout out to them.
Absolutely. And something else that we want to mention, a lot of these kinds of young people that you just spoke of, they are mentoring to their other students who they realize may not, be as in a conducive environment as they are. A lot of them are taking kids home with them and them studying together and them forming little groups together and doing things together. And we just want to say bless on our heart for all of that, and more of that needs to be done.
True indeed. I mean, here in the tri-state area, there's a buzz about the Schools Challenge Quiz Finals that takes place later on tonight between St. Jago and Calabar. So, a lot of people are looking forward to that.
Can we also commend the teachers, Beauregard? Because, as you can imagine, if we have concerns about these students, can you imagine how plagued these teachers have been over the last 2 years by, thoughts and actual, situations, experiences of children who are now just out of the system. And there are teachers who have been going into these communities and finding out who these students are, because when this first started, a lot of students had issues with not having computers and not having access to the work that the teachers were giving. And there were teachers who went in communities and used whatever they could find as chalkboards in these communities and gathered children, and children came and participated, and they would keep going back, and they interfaced with community leaders to make sure that these students, vulnerable students, were actually part of the system. So, and they're doing this without any pay, So we just have to commend these teachers who really went out of their way to do that.
And anytime I speak of teachers, I always have to remember my 6th grade teacher from Duane Park, Miss Henry. One of the teachers who I'll never forget in my whole entire life, and what she did for her students at a time when, she did it for all her students throughout her career. But at a time when I was there in 6th grade and, her students definitely needed her. I don't know if you remember the year when they said a lot of schools cheated on the common entrance exam. I believe it
Yeah.
was 86.
Right.
And, Duane Park was one of those schools that they said cheated. And the whole school had to take over the whole common entrance. And she went into war mode, basically. She took extra time after school, stayed back with her class. On Saturday, she invited the class, whoever wanted to come to her house. She provided lunch and all of those things for us. And, her class had the highest passing percentage that year after we retook the common entrance. So
Right.
there are teachers there who will go above and beyond for their students. And
Absolutely.
Ms. Renee was one of those. Yeah, man.
Absolutely. And, it seems as though in our era, we could perhaps find more of those teachers because it was like a way of life. But they are still there. They are still there as concerned as ever and as active as ever and going beyond the call of duty with no money, no remuneration, and they're still there because as long as people's hearts are still pure and concerned and for others, they will do things like that. So they still are.
Mama Kelly, we have to ask which part we lose our identity, as the Mighty Diamonds would say. Because what we're talking about and discussing right now is really who we are, as Jamaicans, as a culture, the love and help and us looking out for one another. And in this day and age, it's like a lot of that is missing. I don't know if the pandemic has a lot to do with it and just change a lot of people's way of how they are looking at life. But, we have lost some of our identity.
Something that a lot of people might think has a lot to do with it, Beauregard, because yes, there is the pandemic. But you see, when everybody started moving into urban areas, we lost a lot there too, because we lost a lot of how we would relate as human beings. We lost a lot of even just things like somebody living in the country, somebody's parents are farmers, them see that you plant the seed, them see the whole process, them see the process of the patience of the seed growing into maturity, them watch all of that, and that became their kind of the way how they saw life. But with moving away from that and what you call it, urbanization, whatever it is that happened when we moved into the city, it became faster. We didn't have to, we were less patient, we were less observant of nature, we were more in a rat race, and so a lot of the changes happened long ago, or the stage was set for it long ago.
Yes. Well, while some things are changing, some things remain the same. We know that champs return next week, and we return. We remain as a sports nation. We love our sports and all of those things. But as far as the music, I don't know if you saw a video where Beanie Man was at some party, week party, and he was basically talking to the selectors and saying, "Listen, we're gonna mash up the music. We're gonna play some music that is not dancehall, and we are losing the sound of the music." I'm not sure if you saw that video, but what do you think about Beanie Man saying something like that?
Well, Beauregard.
I know you don't comment on the dancehall too much.
No, it's not that I don't comment on the dancehall too much, but all I have to say is that the selectors are playing what the artists give them. It's not like the selector them they make up music while them are playing of them are make up is what the artists give them playing. However, I agree they could be more selective in the choices that they've made. But how can you separate the artist from a statement like that when it's artists them are playing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really?
True.
Come on, artists them are playing.
Beanie Man the doctor. Some people are saying, well, Beanie Man, the music is changing and it's going forward. Some people are saying Beanie Man is right. Keep the sound of what it's supposed to sound like. Some people are saying that change it. They even have a different subgenre right now called trap. Trap dancehall, something like that.
Yeah,
So
it's changing, Beauregard, but let me tell you something.
But it's changed over time, hasn't it?
It has been changing, and it will continue to change. But that don't mean that it changing into nonsense. I mean that's not a valid change. You can change a genre. You can change the way how you entertain. You can change all kind of things, but you don't have to change it into stupidness, into nonsense.
Right.
That is the change change that is making the youth them unconscious, because it's not the genre that doing that. It's the lyrics, it's the message that is being sent. And I think that is perhaps what Beenie Man would have been speaking about, and part of, the message. What are you teaching the youth them on that particular rhythm? Because it can be trap, it can be whatever it is. Dancehall, look how much people in the dancehall and they must sing positive music, make sense music, entertaining, funny, and it's still them very relevant same way. So at the top of the day, at the end of the day, we are also part of it too, in a Beauregard. We are also part of it, because sometimes you hear some selections on radio in broad daylight, and you kind of wonder, is who raised you?
I feel the same way, Mama Kelly. Certain words I feel like during the day, certain hours of the day, like, I wouldn't play it on air. Like, it's just a respect thing. I don't know.
A lot of it has to do with, let me tell you something. You see, from back in the 80s when I was raising my children, I remember, way back, that you used to have songs like, if a girl son attack him, take him, take him, take him. And my son, them would attack him, take him. And I would say to them, is your future wife here tell if you take him, she will take him, where you think I'll take him? No, look here. You have to be careful what you program with the youth them, how them absorb it, how them internalize it, because after a while, if you take him and not nothing, It's just nothing, because you've been telling her if you take him, so she taking him now. She taking him, she take him. No, just me, yeah. What do you think she's not gonna do?
Oh man.
So a long time, it's been a long time coming.
They say the message is in the music, but it depends on what message you put in the music. Exactly.
It's been a long time coming. I used to hear my children singing some songs more time where, and I raised them. Oh my God.
I hear my children sing some songs sometimes, and I say, where you hear that? I mean, I wonder how to hear them. But, social media, they're digging up everything and bringing it back to the forefront. Sometimes you wonder how them hear a song or how them learn it, and they swear it's an original that they are hearing. And sometimes I have to go back and say, no, that's not who did it first. This person did it first. It was done this way before. So
children need guidance, yeah, Beauregard. Because I remember as a child, and a lot of times we talk, and children are like, yeah, you were perfect, right? No, we weren't, and because me members say we weren't, and no, we weren't. Especially, look here, I grew up with only brothers, right? And it's way back in the day. And my brother them and them friend them would take the most divine of songs. And when them done with it, believe you me, that even garbage pan no want that. Okay? Because boys do that, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we need guidance. And that's why we need a little sister like me who say, Mommy, guess what them doing? No. Really? Yes, really.
You were a tattletale, Mama Kelly.
What? No. No. Especially if them go lick me in the day. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, man. I remember them when them go turn. Bum bum. Can I tell you something? I want to remember the song, but you know what I remember in? Fidem version. You know what I mean?
Yes.
See, the bad part. We can't even sing the song when we are trying. Because
you hear it so much.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
Yeah,
I can't even spell it like last week when we could have spelled one rhyme with matches. No, we can't even do that. No. So a long time, them thing you go on. And as a result, it is very clear to me that children, let's talk about innocence of children. Yes, children have an innocence about them. But make I tell you something, there's another side to Pickney. Pickney sometimes just gravitate towards.
They pick up fast.
What? They little slack something them. You understand me?
Right. And raising four sons as well. And I noticed that with them, they all learn from each other. Like the second one learned from the older one, the third one learned from the older two, and the youngest one, he moved so fast because he learn from everybody.
Hey!
So
And the last one, you have to go for it more, you know.
yeah, man.
Trust me. Me I tell you, when the last one bring in, believe you, me have to shut everybody ears, eyes, everything, because him don't care after what. Because him desensitized to the whole thing.
Yeah, man, they pick up from everybody and they do it so quick. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
man. Yeah, man. And another thing that we, sometimes the young people them feel very, isolated, And I am here to tell you, don't feel isolated. What you need is guidance. Because in my day, there was always a slap DJ. So, or two, or three. You understand? So, you see things like that, operating at a low vibration is nothing new. Operating at a higher level is nothing new. What is lacking is the guidance. Guide your children accordingly. There are certain songs you could only sing when your parents are nowhere near, and try to make the neighbor hear neither. Because if the neighbor catch you in a way you just say a while ago, as soon
wait for report.
Remember some nice Christmas song, and one of them I try remember. Me don't even remember the Christmas song again when my brother them done with it. I don't even remember the Christmas song. Christmas, the birth of Christ. You know what I mean? So a long time pick me out harder, okay? And a long time DJ do slack tune. But what was always there and what we need to remember to keep there, guidance. Children need guidance.
True indeed, at all times.
Boom, 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 boom. When remember, me go take. Richie, you know which song me attack? All right, good. Me don't remember the real lyrics. Me only remember when the little brother did sing to the big brother. I will call my big brother and you will see. A them thing. You remember that? They tune. So good.
I try remember.
Look here, don't try to.
I try to see if I can pick up.
No. I don't want to spoil you.
Maybe Van can tell me later. Right?
Van, you know who are them? Van, I don't know about them, they think they. But let me tell you something. You see the way how Richie laugh? Remember. Dum, 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 dum. Anyway, Van is looking.
Pam.
I ate Richie. I ate same one. Same one. Oh, you good? Me never remember some pam. Because you say after me brother lyrics, remember, thank you for remembering. Me say it was actually pam. Hey, yeah. You see where I'm going. You see?
Yes.
We're good.
Yes.
And them the time they no. What you know? Them the time them we about 7. So my brother them couldn't want 10. Okay. And you see the big one, when the big one come in with film verse, the little one back it up. Hey, what's up? Good. Hey, I'm here to cock up my ears, and the whole of my friend them around. I say, no. Slock. But no. You see, all right. I used to tell pandem, but you see nowadays then not tell pandem, them and them in it. In my dear, my father said to me, Elise, as they start to report them to me, and I say, yes, Daddy, with pleasure. It's my pleasure. Why? Children need guidance. That's all me have to say.
Yeah. As much as I can get them for real.
But
Definitely.
Going back to the Tabby story, right?
Yes.
You realize that the police are thinking that it has a lot to do with gang violence. So the situation, it keeps coming back to gang violence, keeps coming back to gang violence because even, they're suggesting that it may have something to do. It was a drive-by, right? And they're suggesting that the drive-by may have something to do with gang violence in the area. So that's another thing that we have to be really, how do we prevent that though? How do we actually prevent gang violence when we see 4 policemen being held, one own a gang and the other one them in the gang? How are we going to really prevent gang violence when you have police officers who own. A long time I know say police officer own gang, you know. And when me I tell certain people say police officer own them, I say no, sir, you're too in a street. Me say you're too in your yard. A long time me know say no. A long time me know say police own gang. What you think? How you think me know? How you think me know say police own gang? Because me in the street. And the gangster, them we keep secret to a point. But after that, the point, they not keep no secret, you know. Not keep no secret.
Why the corruption there everywhere, you know, mama. The corruption is all over, and this is the biggest problem that we are having in terms of fighting the crime in Jamaica and you know, just solving a lot of the situations that we see. If you have the people who are supposed to be taking care of this situation and solving the crimes and getting the guns off the street, they are also involved in putting the guns in the street and involved in the crime that's taking place in the street, then it's not going to be solved. There's a conflict of interest there.
Straight. And look here, Beauregard, make me stop fool yourself. A long time this has happened. You know what? One of the investigators said that based on some of the crimes that they were investigating, it seemed clear to him that he was dealing with trained officers, people who had been trained, because there's a training that police officers get. And when you see when he saw the modus operandi of some of these criminals, it was a modus operandi of trained officers. And this is what led him to start to investigate more thoroughly. And when he investigated more thoroughly, he came up with the fact that police officers actually owned gangs and were involved. Look here, if the police officer them who involved in a gang no say the police them a go out in the road today and them a go out in a one red Mazda, them now go out in the police car, and as soon as the red Mazda drive up, the police them just tell for them crony them say red Mazda in a bird. No, you know, that a go on, you know. And that are gone. How are we going to stop solve crime when mark you, there are wonderful police officers, positive, right? The other day, I talked to one of my brethren them, right? And he might tell me about this criminal now, right? Who, hear him now. Guess who him a look? Me say who him a look? A police lady. So me say so what about that? Look here, let me tell you. So him like say look here. Them have many things in common. Let me tell you something. Them have many things in common. Them in the street too. Cause them in the street, you know. Don't get it twisted. Them in the street too. Them have gun too. And them have many things in common. And as a result, me say to him, say, nobody, I bet you get her.
Why, Mama, I don't know what we're going to do about it. But in another story involving a police officer here in the United States. This one took place in Georgia. It says a Georgia cop resigns after being caught in a viral X-rated TikTok video. It says a police officer in Georgia has resigned from the force after he was caught on video engaging in a sexual act near a cemetery while on the job. The lawman identified as Millen police officer Larry Ben Thompson, Ben in quotations, was seen engaged in a sexual activity with a woman as his police car was parked in an open field near a cemetery.
Oi, but it look at her. Hey, yo, Carpy look like he like that something there because I know a little bit of time they catch Carpy that or something there, you know. Boy, me I tell you. So, but I don't know. I don't know. He could have choose cemetery though. But anyway, I don't know. You don't know. But you see what you just read a while ago. Cha, got me like, cha.
Yeah.
Police like them something, man. Yes, I mean, a whole heap of, hey, I want to tell you as a result of which, you know, there was a time
the job hard enough.
There was a time when some woman when never usually like police. I say, you know, based on the video them, you know, I think I prefer police. But look here now. Look here. Serious thing now. but because them seem to be very versed. Anyway.
Also, just to follow up on the Chris Rock and Will Smith situation,
Yes.
3 days after he was attacked by Will Smith at the Oscars, Chris Rock made his first public appearance at the opening show of his Ego Death World Tour in Boston last night to a sold-out crowd. A lot of people came out to see him. He got a standing ovation for about 3 minutes. They said the people were applauding him, and he didn't make any reference as to the whole Will Smith situation, but he said he's gonna talk about it. He just wasn't ready last night.
No need to make no reference.
Moving forward.
Them think they a publicity stunt, look here, for all we know, the two of them could all work out, say, boy, you're going box me next week, right? No, me never, look here. Me not have faith in enough to publicity stunt.
Remember, this is where we said Tuesday. Though.
You remember?
You never know you never know what's going on. And now there's even another angle out on the whole situation where they're showing Jada Pinkett laughing after Will Smith was walking back to his seat. So, there's some people are now saying, so why was she laughing if she was so upset? Was she laughing at him getting slapped, or was it the fact that she knew something everybody else didn't know, or whatever the case may be? But, this is Hollywood, man, and the world is a stage.
Exactly.
So,
Thank you very much.
There are a lot of actors. There are a lot of actors out there.
Yeah, Will.
And speaking of actors, Bruce Willis is stepping away from acting because of a health condition.
Oh, really?
He has come down with he's suffering from a condition called aphasia, which affects his cognitive abilities to read and write and communicate.
Wow. Sorry
So
to
the
hear
family
that.
put out a statement. Yeah, the family shared a statement yesterday saying that he's stepping away from acting for now.
Sorry to hear that. Look here.
One of my favorite actors,
Yes, very
Die
good
Hard
actor.
movie. That was one of my favorite movies.
Very
from back
good
then, Die
actor.
Hard.
I'm not surprised if I could overhear a conversation that says, yo, Fresh Prince, you box me Monday, see? And you see, when that done take the place, me box you back Friday. Yeah, man, because so they were. Anyway, look here, Beauregard, we get, from when we get the wrap up, from when Van get up. He wrap me up so much time that he's tired to wrap me up, he get up, in God. So this is here a while ago before. Might as well just wrap up because the commercial them now come again. Oh my God.
Oh man.
It's you guys. It's in a Beauregard, just not me. Okay, it's you guys.
It's great conversation, Mama Kelly. I enjoy this so much, and so do a lot of the listeners here in the Tri-State. Every time we speak on the air, and I see people in the streets, they give me their feedback on them, say, yo, the conversation with you and Mama Kelly, I look forward to it. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. And
Same my side.
No
Same
matter where
my
I'm
side.
there. Yeah, man.
You notice even the other day when we were talking to Wise Words, it's like him have the name down in the Beauregard. I say, hey, call the family. Look at me. Look here, Beauregard. Regard, no, I said, go fire away. Just
all right. Take care, Mama Kelly.
All right, my friend.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you, my love. So we meet again Tuesday,
right.
see? All right. All yours, Vaughn. Commercial? No, you're not bothered with the commercial again. Or what they say, just go and talk because they don't talk already. Anyway, thank you very much, Beauregard, and the Irie Jam Radio listeners and viewers. Want to say thank you very much also to the Untengle team. Of course, we always very, very grateful to the listeners. You heard Beauregard speak of our listeners. We do this for our listeners, and we're really very happy to know that you're enjoying our programs, and thank you very much for tuning in. And I want to say enough respect to the entire Tri-State. Thank you always for tuning in, and thank you very much to the Untengle team. Really a team. Bless upon yourself all the time. See? Bless up.